Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing really well, and a big warm welcome if you're new here. One of the coziest and in my opinion loveliest things about winter dressing is wearing a snuggly sweater and layering up to feel warm and cuddly and kind of well prepared for the cold weather. So today I'm focusing on sweaters, and more especially 3 different types of sweater, different shapes of sweaters, because when it gets really cold, you know, the temptation is to just throw on something, perhaps like a chunky knit or something on whatever you're wearing. So I'm going to illustrate with do's and don'ts how to style these 3 different shapes of sweaters to create balanced and flattering outfits. So I'm going to get straight into it without any further ado with my first type of sweater and the do's and don'ts for styling it. And the first shape is an oversized chunky sweater. So this sort of shape of sweater is one of my favorites and the most cuddly, especially if it's in wool or cashmere. So here in this look, the sweater that I'm wearing is from And Other Stories, and I do think it's absolutely beautiful. It's lovely quality, and I love the unusual color as well, which they call mole. And it's so warm. It's made from 55% merino wool and 45% cotton, which I love because it's all natural fabric. But as you can see here, it's really oversized and a little bit tricky to style, particularly if you're like me. I'm 5'4", as it can make us look a little bit swamped and lacking in definition if we're not careful. So this styling is a definite don't, because the Abercrombie wide leg trousers are lovely, but they just got too much material when worn with this oversized sweater as well. So the whole effect just doesn't really work. It's just too big everywhere without any body definition. It kind of makes me look wider than I am and squarer. So in my second look, I'm going to show you a do. So in this second way of styling the sweater, I've changed the trousers for a much more fitted pair. These are my black cigarette trousers. They're tapered at the bottom, much more slim fit. But of course, any trousers that are slim fit, or skinny jeans even, or slim fit jeans that you might have in your wardrobe would work really well with this shape of sweater. So I've just teamed the pieces with a pair of black ankle boots, just to keep the black colour continuing down the leg and onto the feet to further elongate the look and keep it looking slender and in proportion. So this is a real do in terms of how to style an oversized chunky sweater. Now, one way of styling this shape of sweater is often with leggings, but let's have a little look because this can also have a few pitfalls. So my look 3 is a don't. So in this look, I've teamed the sweater with a basic pair of black leggings. Actually, they're not that basic, to be honest, as I love the shape of them. They're pretty cheap from Amazon, actually. I will link everything underneath the video, but they're just lovely, butter soft. Now, what is good about this sweater and the leggings is that the length of the sweater is fairly long and comfortably covers my bottom, both front and back. So I feel really comfortable in it, and it's nice and modest. So whilst the clothes are good together, it's actually a don't outfit because of the footwear, which makes the whole look out of kilter. Now, I love these leather loafers, but in this look they're just too fine and too small, so that the outfit ends up looking top heavy, going down in a sort of a lollipop effect. So my look 4, this is a way to solve this. So the way to do it is to change the footwear to something a little less fine and a bit more significant. These long black boots stop the outfit from looking too top heavy because they give more weight to the bottom. In fact, you could even wear slightly more chunky ones, which would really work well and balance the whole look. So this is a do. So what about if you want to pair a chunky sweater with a skirt? Well, let's look at my look 5 and see how this is done. Creating a balanced outfit is basically the same process for skirt outfits as it is for trousers and jeans, because essentially, for the most flattering effect, if you have an oversized sweater, it works best on a more fitted bottom half, but you've still got to balance the very bottom as well. Now, of course, the other thing to think about is your own personal shape and size. And I know this is obviously different for everyone. So Obviously I'm kind of generalizing here with the limits of a YouTube video, but here I love the contrast in this outfit in textures as well as the shape of the look. Now this satin skirt is from H&M and is a beautiful buttermilk color, such a pretty versatile neutral for all year round. And the sweater is my all-time favorite cashmere chunky sweater from Lily Silk. Such a beautiful piece, and it's really warm. I've paired the pieces with some nude heels, but boots would also look great with this outfit too, although I would suggest keeping the same sort of neutral color palette and not creating too many contrasts with your footwear, so not black or anything strong. Now the reason why this outfit works is that you've got the chunky sweater on the top, and then you've got a little bit of a tuck in, but not a complete tuck in, just a hint. And then you've got this beautiful satin skirt, which because of its fluidity, it's more body skimming. So it's actually creates the balance between the larger top, a thinner part to the legs. So it's nice and balanced. So let's move on to a different sweater shape now. My second sweater shape is a fine knit roll neck sweater. Now I love this shape of sweater. I just think it's so chic, and it's got that sophisticated vibe which can be created the instant you put it on basically. But I'm going to start with a don't actually in my look 6. So with this shape of sweater, because it fits well, if you want to create a flattering balance and in proportion outfit, don't pair it with anything that's really fitted on your lower half. And here you can see this in action, basically by wearing the fitted top with a pair of slim fit jeans and long boots. It all just looks too tight and it's lacking in shape. This is particularly important with certain body shapes like mine, for example. I'm an inverted triangle, and this would also be the same for all rectangles as well. So wearing everything tight emphasizes my lack of waist, my lack of curves, and it would be just the same for rectangles as well. So I just look straight up and down, which is not really feminine or what we're going for. So essentially a more balanced and flattering look involves going more for an hourglass shape, hence the need to balance out tight and looser clothing. So onto my look 7 to illustrate the difference, and this is a do. So just by swapping out the slim fit jeans for a wider leg tailored trouser makes all the difference, I think, to the balance. So you've got the slim bit, and then you've got more of a wider leg, so it's really balanced up, and it's just much more in proportion and pleasing to the eye. Now I've echoed the slim fit top in slimmer looking boots too, nothing chunky at the bottom of the outfit, because otherwise the bottom would look too heavy compared with my upper body. So I've also chosen these sock boots for their pointed toe as well, which helps to elongate the effect on the leg, even with wide leg trousers, and being 5'4". Wearing these wider leg trousers also gives me a slight illusion of a waist, which is always a good thing when I haven't got one, and it really helps that the trousers have a fluid flow really. So even though they've got plenty of material, I think the fluidity makes them so much more elegant. So now I'm moving on to my third shape of sweater, which is number 3, a round neck sweater. Now round neck sweaters, I think sometimes round neck sweaters or crew necks get a bit of a bad rap, you know, because they can sometimes be seen as creating a sort of a block or a square effect on the upper body, you know, going up to here, and it's just a block, particularly for certain body shapes. But although I get that, particularly for certain body shapes, I think a lot can be improved by styling. So in my look 8, it's a do. So do wear your round neck sweater or your crew neck as a third layer. So for this one, I've chosen to style this round neck sweater, actually a very similar color to the chunky one I showed earlier, as a third layer. So round neck sweaters are perfect styled like this. They're just so flexible, and the effect is kind of elongating as well, because the sleeves running down here create a vertical line down the body, and just by creating this third layer, the whole outfit just looks much more put together as well. So I'm teaming the sweater with a navy and white thin striped shirt, which is nice and loose, and black tapered trousers from Karen Millen. It's a pretty classic look, but I think the mole coloured sweater brings in a slightly different vibe, and maybe a little bit more casual one than if I'd teamed the shirt and trousers with, say, a navy or a black sweater. So for my don't on this is look 9. So here I'm wearing the same basic pieces, but I'm actually wearing the sweater this time. I love this sweater. It's just really soft, and I love that I can ruche up the sleeves to give more exposed skin, which lightens the whole look. That's a great trick actually, of course, to expose the wrists when you're wearing a fairly covered and not fitted sweater. It really helps the balance. But what's the don't here then? Well, firstly, by leaving the sweater hanging out, what I've done is I've provided no definition at the waist. So the sweater tends to make me look larger and wider. So here I'm going to tuck it in a little bit, just lightly in the front, to just give a hint of a shape to my torso, which I think works much better. And then it becomes more of a do. And the second don't to consider, especially if you're not over about 5'4", is to choose a round neck sweater that is not so loose. You know, this sweater is lovely, but it's really on the cusp of being too loose for my body shape, and you really have to work at the styling of it, and my height, of course, much as I love it. Now, I know it's kind of tempting to select sweaters that are all enveloping, but as I mentioned earlier, round necks can be tricky, especially if you're on the shorter side, or if you're certain shapes, such as perhaps an apple. So in this next look, you'll hopefully see what I mean and see the difference. So here I'm wearing this beautiful sweater that I'm wearing here, a slightly less loose shape sweater, and I've also given the whole look more structure by styling the sweater over a shirt, with the shirt also peeking out a bit on every side. Now this lovely sweater is from the House of Brouwer. It's a brand which I mentioned in another recent video actually, which I will link below. Now it's so beautifully warm, it's 100% lamb's wool, and it's just perfect over the top of this cotton shirt. But to keep the overall tonal look, rather than the black trousers, I've reverted to mid-wash bootcut jeans. So it's very casual, kind of go anywhere sort of look. And I feel really comfortable in it, and warm as well. So I just think that this sweater, which has more shape, let's say, well, less loose, especially when the shirt is added underneath, gives a good silhouette, which is more flattering and also allows more flexibility in the shape of trousers to pair with it too. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, I hope you have, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love to have you join our community. I'd love for you to comment too, as we've got a fabulous community on this channel and we all love reading the comments. And don't forget, of course, all the links to the items that I mentioned and shown on this video are listed underneath this video. So I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing week. I'm looking forward to seeing you in a few short days for more short and long styling videos, so do watch out for those. Lots of love. Bye.